Let's get it going.
Let's get this thing going. How you been, man?
I've been pretty good. How about yourself, Sir Alex?
Not too shabby. Not too shabby. I was telling Justin last time that I somehow managed. Well, not last time, but it came up a week or two ago where I somehow managed to break my pinky toe, and how it's healing up nicely. I'm soldiering on. It's tough out there. It's a struggle, but the struggle is real.
Yes.
And I'm soldiering on because it's just what I do. I'm a giver. It's how it happens. But no,
Right.
everything's fine. Took the dog out a little bit earlier. He's sufficiently wiped out because it is hot as shit out here. So you're in
I
Virginia,
have heard.
and I'm sure I don't know. Maybe it's not too bad out there.
It's not terrible.
Mm.
It's raining constantly.
Oh,
Amanda said that she tried to go for a run yesterday, I think, and ended up
melting.
about melting.
Literally
She was
melting.
like, okay. She was like, I tried, but there's no way. Like, it is way too hot for anyone to
Yep.
be outside.
That
So
sounds
yeah.
fucking miserable.
Yeah, I have heard. I've heard. Sorry if you hear the air conditioner turn on.
Nope,
It's
you're good,
fucking
man.
balls.
I've got a
It's
fan
actually
going.
hot in this room.
Oh, nice.
So
Nice.
yeah, and funny thing, I can't even hear the fan, so you're good.
In that case, what fan? I don't even own fans.
Right. Okay.
My,
Yeah. Sure.
My
We'll play that.
religion prohibits them.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Or something. I don't know.
Don't be. You must be hot at all times. Your skin must be melting.
My skin is lava. Everything is lava. Not but yeah, man. Well, what games you been playing lately?
The per usual.
Mhm.
Uh, I went back to Persona whenever I was on the plane and stuff. That is pretty enjoyable. I've been going back and forth while
Mhm.
I'm here at the hotel room too. Um, and then I also been playing Geometry Wars,
Oh.
which is actually pretty cool. I know that it is for PC,
Mhm.
but it's also on PlayStation as well,
Yeah.
and you can get on the Vita. So, really interesting game. Fucking balls hard. It is incredibly hard to play.
So I've heard.
I like it though. It's very
Mm.
fun. It's challenging, and it's cool to be able to. Well, if I had friends that fucking actually owned anything PlayStation, then yeah, I would be able to fucking match scores with them. But
Oh.
uh, yeah, so no, it's fun. I do enjoy it. But that's pretty much all I've been doing.
Mm.
Nothing else. I did install Final Fantasy VII. I might
Oh.
just play some of that just for shits and grins.
For
But
once.
yeah, just for once. I don't play it often.
Yeah. It's a
So
little
yeah.
little indie game called Final Fantasy VII. Maybe you've heard
Yeah.
of it. Hasn't really made much of a splash, but it's kind of
I
indie,
did
kind of.
think about installing the mod for it that makes everything like higher resolution textures, and
Yeah.
then some guy made models for all the characters,
Wow.
so you can actually upgrade the models. But then the game just looks like some of it's just incredibly shitty, and then there's like this really good looking fucking model for
Yep.
Cloud or something just walking around, and you're like, okay, this doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
What the fuck am I playing?
One of these
So yeah,
things. It's not like the
I'll
other.
probably stick with the original shit.
It's
yeah.
probably the best way to do it.
How about yourself? I saw you were playing Terraria. I almost installed it the other night.
Ooh, I mean, yeah, I think I mentioned that Terraria had all but consumed me. I have been swallowed up by the Terraria black hole that is my life, and embraced it wholeheartedly. I
Yep.
gleefully leapt into that black hole. It did not suck me in, ladies. But the the sad conclusion of that story, is that we beat Terraria. Like we
Oh.
beat the final boss, and
Really?
like, and when I say we, I mean my usual group of friends, about 3 or 4 of us in the case of Terraria,
Okay.
some of my Steam buddies. And yeah, we beat the final boss, or whatever the current final boss is. As of 1.3, the final boss there, and
Is it the Ender Dragon?
um
I'm just
it
kidding.
is not. It is not, but it is. It's something similarly. It's something pretty epic. It was epic to the point where when we kind of accidentally summoned the final boss, we were all like, "Holy shit! Wow!"
How do
like
you
it was.
accidentally summon the final boss?
Well, we I don't know how much you've played of Terraria, but you probably know that most of the bosses have like a consumable object where you use the summonable object to call forth a
Yes.
particular boss, or
Yeah.
you do some sort of action with an object.
Mhm.
In this particular case, there weren't any boss summoning objects, but there were a series of things you had to destroy, and we were.
Okay.
And each time you destroyed a new object, it would give you an ominous message. You destroy the first one, and it would say, "Your mind goes numb." You destroy the second one, you feel excruciating pain within your soul. Like all these epic,
Okay.
like very disheartening messages saying, some shit's about to go down, so you better hold on to your dicks." And we
Did
just
you hold on to them?
so we held on tightly. We held on loosely, but didn't let go. Because if you cling too tightly, then you might lose control. but yeah, we kept playing forward and did the final thing, and then like the screen started to like things started to get fuzzy, if that makes any sense. And we were like, what the fuck's going on? And then something happened, and we were all taken aback, and it was epic. It was awesome. But then we beat him, and we were like, well, shit. That's the extent of it. I mean, there were still some items that we could procure, and there was one invasion that we never did see. And personally, I'd be down for jumping back in it, but all the other guys, they were kind of like, they weren't really feeling it. So,
I gotcha.
Then we spent the rest of that evening just kind of in a stupor of, God, what the fuck do we do with our lives? We just spent like, I think I saw that I'd put just a little bit over 40 hours across, and slightly less than 2 weeks into that game. So it's we played the tits out of that game, and now it's like, well, shit, man, what the fuck do we do with our life? What do we play now? So
that's no shit.
So
that's how I feel every time I come to that end stint with WoW.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what do I play now? This is all I know.
There's a world out there. God, dude, there's an outside. There's a social life. So, but we did a couple nights. We did I think Sunday night fire up, or rather resume Icewind Dale, so I think that'll probably be our drug of choice for a while. So, but Terraria,
gotcha.
I can always come back to Terraria and always have a blasty blast, and oh man, I'll probably come back to it in a couple more months, maybe as more content is added, or maybe just as an excuse to fire it up again and
right.
And,
how's Starbound looking recently? Is there any updates to it?
What's going on, Freppet? Thanks for joining, man.
Hey, what's up, man?
We're just getting caught up on the stuff we've been playing, and for Starbound, I was regaling Justin with the tales of Terraria and how we've beaten the main stuff, so now we're going back to our old games. But yeah, Starbound is still in early access, and there's still a fuck ton of stuff they want to add. In fact, I seem to recall reading an update that they had posted a couple weeks back where they were saying how they have a fairly gigantic update that they're working on right now. And alright, see you later. But hey, what's going on? Alright, see you later. But yeah, with Starbound, they have a gigantic update that they want to put out, and they keep getting distracted by stuff like with E3 happening. They were doing lots of stuff there. They'll get some other press related things, so they'll kind of shift focus to that. So it's tentatively scheduled for maybe within a couple months, but it's kind of up in the air as to when. So they haven't committed to a specific date, but supposedly they've got a pretty significant update out, or update that they'll soon to have out. Soon being a qualitative phrase, not a quantitative one. But I fucking love Starbound, so I'm down. I'm down for more of that.
Yeah.
Totally.
I've been wanting to pick it up. I think once I get to a stopping point in Warcraft, like once I hit 60 and I'm not grinding my fucking character to death, then I think I'm gonna pick up something on the side. I'm really interested in Starbound.
Yeah.
I think. I like the ability of like porting down to like a planet.
Yes.
It just sounds cool as hell. So.
It's really cool. It is really cool. It started very similar to Terraria. They were very. At the time, I think Terraria 1.2 had just come out, and Starbound had just done its early access thing. So it was kind of hard to compare the two, because Terraria, of course, just blew it out of the water because it had all this stuff.
Oh yeah.
But as time went on, Starbound really grew into its own, and they're hard to compare just because they are so different. I mean, the similarities are hard to ignore, but they play vastly differently now, and the focus is different for both games. So, I mean, if you've played Terraria and enjoy that style of game, then you will enjoy. I'm fairly confident you'll enjoy Starbound, but they're fairly distinct.
Yeah, I looked at my Steam, and apparently I've played like 70 hours, I think. 70, 80 hours of Terraria.
That's
awesome. Actually more than I fucking recall.
Yeah.
But yeah, so...
That's usually how it goes.
I think I would enjoy it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I recall back to like the first time I ever started like Team Fortress 2. I was like, man, this game's fun, and then I recall playing it every night, but I never realized how much time I was actually
Yeah.
putting into the game. And then I remember one time, it was like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. I remember looking at my fucking time played, and it was like, you've played 380 hours. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Why
Yeah,
am I spending all this time?
very rarely does looking at that number. Very rarely is it a good thing. Very rarely does it like.
No.
Is it? Are you met with a? Usually it's something like, oh God, what the fuck am I doing with my life?
Right.
I better distract myself by firing up Team Fortress again.
Yep. Oh, I see Benny Lava 20 in the chat list here,
Oh
so
shit!
I'm gonna say hello to him, even though he never said hello to us.
Preemptively, he's trying to be all sneaky snake. He's trying
Asshole.
he's trying to lurk. Such a creepy lurker, creepy
Yep,
stalker.
he is. He's creeping.
I've always wanted a stalker. Just seems so romantic. Hey, there he is. What's going on, buddy?
Hello.
Good to see you here, man.
I figured if I called him out, he would say something.
There you go. Yeah.
And we were successful.
Gotta draw them out.
Yes.
Oh man.
So, Alex,
Alex.
how do you feel about
I already know.
Satoru-
I already know what you're gonna bring up, man.
Toru Iwata?
Dude, motherfucking R.I.P. Had to put your headset on. No, it's all good, man. But yeah, dude, that was a shocker. I'll be the first to admit I was genuinely
It
shocked.
was. He wasn't old. He's not
He
an
was
old
not.
man by any means.
55, not young, but very normal middle age. I mean, yeah, that in itself was a shocker. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had absolutely no idea. Had no idea seeing it coming. A couple weeks prior, another one of my heroes, Chris Squire, the bassist of Yes,
Yeah.
passed away, and that was a bummer. But I kind of had some preemption there because I think in April it was announced that he was diagnosed with a fairly rare version of leukemia.
Oh shit.
And getting leukemia at the age of 67 is not a death knell, but
Getting a rare version of leukemia is
like,
pretty much death to anyone.
It's rough. That's rough, and being
Right.
in your late 60s, that makes it tough too. So I mean, when I heard the news, I was bummed, but I had kind of time to prepare myself for it, and it was not expected still, but it was just the kind of thing where it's
Right.
like, oh, that sucks, but that's a tough one to come back from. But yeah, man.
Yeah.
Motherfucking Iwata, age 55 from a bile duct infection. And this was, and in all fairness, we did hear about it last year.
Yeah, last year. He said he was getting it removed.
Yeah. Had surgery to get it removed. He was like, he made an update on on some sort of announcement page, I think a week later, and saying like, yeah, man, getting back into work, trying to, sticking with email right now and working remotely, but I'll get back in the office, and was still doing public things, was still doing the Iwata Asks. In fact, I think the most recent one was posted a couple weeks ago. Granted, I'm sure they
my god.
Well, I'm sure they record those probably a month or two in advance, but
yeah,
still.
well in the past.
But still, he was still very active up to really pretty much the bitter end, and yeah, like all these things about how it's like they were posting updates saying like, yeah, man, he had surgery, but we think he's progressing well, things are looking positive. He was not at E3 this year. Of course, nobody at Nintendo was at E3. They do the digital event, and they did the puppet thing, of course, which I guess was an interesting way to probably mask what those within the know probably knew. They did a good job of keeping that from prying eyes. I'm sure partly because of the whole investor side of things. I'm sure that plays into it more than we would like to know, but
oh, it does.
But oh yeah, no, totally. Publicly traded company, investors. That's how it goes. I used to work for one, so I know how that goes too.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, Reggie was all over the place. Miyamoto was all over the place in that video. But yeah, Iwata, his only presence was in puppet form. So, which didn't strike me as odd in the slightest. But looking back, I go, oh, I wonder if that was intentional. To not give any indication. But yeah, man, it is a colossal bummer.
It is.
And it's interesting when an artist passes away, or some sort of visionary, or like great game. You think of great game designers. You think of cool developers, or things like that. But a CEO of a business passing away and having this much impact. I don't know if I've ever seen this happen before.
Mm-mm.
Like there are CEOs that I admire.
Yeah. The thing with Iwata is that he was a born true developer.
Yeah.
Like making working on quite a bit of games that pretty much everybody enjoyed. I have to thank him especially for Pokemon fucking Nintendo 64, fucking
Yeah.
Pokemon Stadium.
Yeah.
Like the dude went back
Mhm.
into the code of like the Japanese versions of the game.
Mhm.
I was like, oh, okay, now I understand this game.
Yep.
And now I'm going to make this Pokemon Stadium game.
No documentation, no training, just
Nothing.
Yep, I got it.
Fucking impressive. And Pokemon Stadium was such a revolutionary thing too. You know, like not only Pokemon Stadium being awesome, but fucking the fact that you could plug in your Game Boy, or not your Game Boy, but your cartridge, and you can not only play the game through like a super quick Dodrio mode from Dodrio Tower, which is how I played for the longest time because it was the fastest way to play.
It's such a good way to farm too, because you just blitz through shit.
Yeah, that's how I think that's the only way I reached a true team of 100s is by doing that.
You're a braver soul than I don't have that kind of patience.
I will say that I've never in retail made a level 100 Magikarp, but I did via emulator. And naturally, I didn't actually level him
I know what
with
you mean,
rare candies. But yeah, no, level 100 Magikarp, fucking boss.
OP, please nerf.
It's sad to see him pass away because he's also one of the last, he is literally the only fucking CEO of a major corporation that actually was like one-on-one with other developers. Like he knew the workings of his own business and not just from a business standpoint of being like, this is how we get money, but also on a standpoint of this is how we keep our people, our fans, stuff like that. So, very huge loss. I am incredibly sad. Yeah,
it's a tremendous bummer, and you nailed it, mentioning that he started as a developer. He was just a software, a software engineer just like me, and grew to become the CEO of the motherfucking company.
Right, a company which only had people of its own family working for it, or only of its people of its family being the president. So what was it? 1949 is when the previous president was put into place. So and then he didn't retire until 2000.
Yeah, it's a really interesting story, and it's a story that, as much of a Nintendo fanboy I am, I was not as familiar as I wish I would have been while he was alive, because it really is fascinating seeing how he rose to the ranks and all these, and of course all the great accomplishments. You mentioned the Pokemon Stadium one. Man, that's a fucking journey right there.
It is.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I heard somewhere that he was one of, if not the main programmer for Earthbound.
He was the main. He was. Yeah, I think he was the only one. I
think he was the programmer, the one programmer for Earthbound.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, which is like, I don't know. It's astounding. Like, I mean, because you see
that is a beautiful game too.
It is, and you see like entire teams of developers try and pull that kind of shit off, and there's so many stumbling blocks and so many. Oh man, like that's a topic in its own right. How bad shit can get when you have a team of people. But yeah, man, pulled it off all by himself. I think he also did at least the code for controlling the character in Balloon Fight, because I read that they opted to utilize the code that he used for that type of control, like hitting the A button to like keep yourself afloat, in the swimming controls for Super Mario Brothers, and how he was like excited about that because apparently at the time he was feeling frustrated that he wasn't able to contribute code to it. So yeah, back in the day, that was Tim. He was excited about it. And as he should be, because it's a landmark game, of course. But
right, it is.
But yeah,
it's a very well known game.
It is. Yeah, it's another little indie title you might have heard about. You
might have heard about.
Yeah, a little underground title. But yeah, between Earthbound and but the Balloon Fight thing, I think I read that I think it was Smash Brothers Melee, where it was falling behind schedule, so he took like 3 months to help to basically roll up his sleeves and get shit done. Like helped out with the coding and the debugging and debugging it and testing it and bug resolution and all those other things. And by that point, he had been CEO for a little while. I guess that would have been for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, all these.
So when did Melee come out?
I want to say
2003.
I want to say 03 or 04.
Yeah, then
I
so
would have to
he
look it
was
up.
definitely CEO for a couple years then.
Yeah, yeah. So, and I did see that you joined, by the way, D-Man. Sorry that sorry you're having troubles. I completely understand. And yeah,
Yes.
Justin beat me to the punch. But
Yep.
I just want to give a shout out to D-Man. Thanks for really stopping in, man.
Yeah. What's
Appreciate
up,
it.
D-Man?
But
Sorry about Are you using Firefox, by the way? If he is, that might be why. But I mean, yeah, HTML. I can get half of anything to load right now because
mm,
the HTML5 issue going on.
yeah,
Or sorry, not HTML5, the Flash issue
the
going
Flash
on right
issue,
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not just the accomplishments. You know, of course, the guy had all these great accomplishments. He could throw out numbers, all the amount of money Nintendo made up. But yeah, I think you did a good job of pointing out that uh, he seemed. It always sounds so cheesy, but he really did seem to care about the final product, about the quality,
Right.
not just from the number standpoint. I think you saw that a gentleman I really admire. His name is Nate Horsfall. He is a artist and an animator, and produced at least a few of the OC Remix albums. The most recent one was Spectrum of Mana. It was all about the secret of mana. He's working on one for Chrono Trigger. I don't know what it's going to
Oh,
be
okay.
called yet. I don't think a title's been announced yet, but he's announced it's going to be Chrono Trigger,
Very cool.
and it's going to be another multi-disc, gigantic, epic album. And you should go check it out. It's awesome. If anyone's watching and you like Chrono Trigger music, go Google search Nate Horsfall or Google search Spectrum of Mana, and
I
you'll see some cool
desperately need to
shit.
play Chrono Trigger.
Oh yeah, it's a classic. But he made a really good post that really it was so insightful and so well put together, and it did such a good job of identifying why I know I have had such a weird time uh, grappling with the fact that Iwata so unexpectedly passed away, and it's because ever since he took office and around I guess the GameCube came out while he was in control.
Yes.
But yeah, he just been there for so long, and you just kind of take it for granted. And he, all between the Nintendo Directs and the Iwata Asks and the videos and the presentations, he made himself present in such a way that CEOs they'll make themselves present through mission statements or even giving speeches and such and giving presentations. But he seemed to really embrace the kind of goofy nature that Nintendo
Yeah.
more or less kind of became known for in their videos. He'd be sporting the Luigi cap right next to Miyamoto wearing a Mario cap, and and he seemed to be having a fun time with it. I never, you can uh, overanalyze this kind of thing as much as you want, and chalk it up to just trying to put on a face for a company. And again, I'm sure there is some of that, much more than any of us would be comfortable admitting.
Yeah.
But it's weird to see someone who seemed so personally invested, the kind of person who takes a 50% pay cut on his own salary to prevent his creative development team from taking a hit when morale and sales were low. You don't see that kind of shit anymore.
No.
And even by Japanese standards, I find and again their business standards and business operations are very different from ours. But even from
Yeah,
Japanese
absolutely.
standards, that kind of thing was quite paramount, and it is such a colossal bummer, and I can only imagine what it must be like within the walls of Nintendo right now, because they're given the insurmountable task to try and find someone to fill his shoes, and
Yeah.
that's a tough task. A lot of people are hoping
It is
that.
an extremely tough task.
Yeah.
Not only for the fact that he kind of knew, he kind of knew that, knew what was going on as far as like a programming side because he was a programmer.
Yeah.
But like, how do you even mix that with knowing business as well? Because like I could never. I don't think I could ever know business.
I'm with you there.
I don't think I would ever put myself in that position because I just don't know. But
Yeah.
to tackle both fronts of those,
Mhm.
that is so impressive.
It is,
And I can see how it's going to be so difficult for Nintendo because they're going to want somebody almost with that same nature because
Yeah.
they've had such a good track record with
Yeah.
him, in the lead. So, it's going to be the beginning of the dark times.
It's going to be tough. It is going to be really tough. And I mean, Nintendo, I think they have a pretty good track record of hiring talents and
Yeah.
people that not only from a technical level can walk the walk, but also from like do they get what Nintendo's trying to go for? is this person after a quality product, not a numbers perspective? Are they open to games that can appeal to multiple audiences, that kind of thing? So I trust that they will put forth the due diligence to get someone to fill that position in such a way that isn't just a get someone to fill it quick, but like try and find someone who will fill it effectively and not have a revolving door of CEOs. Because when that shit happens, I used to work for a company that did that. When that shit starts to happen, that's when things really take a turn for the worse. So I trust them to not let that happen, but it's still a tough task.
Yeah.
And one thing I guess I had never really considered based on the timing that when he started, because like we briefly mentioned, when Miyamoto took office at Nintendo, the GameCube had been out. I think the GameCube was about to come out. And I mean, I love the GameCube, but I'll be the first to admit, it relative to other consoles at the time, it was a bit of a flop. It sold decently, and I don't think Nintendo really lost much money from it, but
no.
But
they had some decent games. I mean, they had Melee, and then they had the Metroid games.
Oh yeah.
Pikmin was always fun.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they had good games, but yeah, it definitely didn't sell as well as they thought it would be.
I mean, the PS2, boom, right there.
How the fuck do you beat that?
It commanded it. It commanded that generation. The Xbox, also a new entry into the arena, held its own very well.
Yeah.
And I think it was described as the blue ocean strategy of like, you know, we're competing directly with Sony, we're competing directly with Xbox, and we're hitting this brick wall, and we're not really approaching it. Maybe we're not really gaining much ground here. Maybe we need to change strategies, and instead of looking at this piece of land that we're all contesting, let's look to the ocean, where we have this gigantic, untapped potential of a market, and let's try and make games that can appeal to the land audience, but also to the seafaring one as well, the ones that make up this gigantic. Because I mean, that's the thing, you know, hardcore gamers were a sometimes loud and angry bunch, and sometimes demanding one. But we're not the only ones. There's a lot, you know, the casual audience, if you want to call it that, or even the non-gamer audience, if you want to call it that. There's a lot of untapped potential there. So making the Wii and the DS with all these alternate input modes, some faring better than others. Talking about the Wii U last time, how that's been a little bit of some wavering.
Yeah.
But he really wanted to go after the not trying to box themselves in to just one market, but to really try and make themselves appealing, and not just
which they do. I think they do every time. I think, and they do it well. I mean, you may not notice it, but like, they introduced for the Wii U a fucking tablet for your PC, or basically a tablet, not for your PC, for your system. You could play anywhere, and then all of a sudden, all these remote play, you know, devices started showing up. Now, I will say that PlayStation already had a remote play device, the fucking Vita, which was never fucking marketed. Goddamn bastards. But and all of a sudden you see all these, these fucking the NVIDIA Shield is like a major one, you know, for the PC. Mm-hmm. This starts showing up. So I think they have the right idea of kind of targeting a new audience.
Yeah.
It's just, there's a lot of competitors out there now.
There is. It's very different, and that's what happens when you try to do something new and kind of weird. Sometimes it works with the Wii. Sometimes it's a little bit of a struggle, like with the Wii U. So. But I commend his efforts to really experiment and to try and break new ground, and to in such a way that doesn't alienate the original audience, but tries to allow other people into our treehouse. They take down the No Girls Allowed sign and say, come on, maybe we can get everybody in on the fun. So I really hope that they continue with that strategy.
Yeah.
I also applaud him for being kind of a buffer against the investors who, for years now, have been saying, put your games on smartphone devices. And he kept saying, no, fuck that. It's gonna fuck everything up. We're not doing that. Obviously, they've seeded a little bit by saying, okay, we'll make some Nintendo experiences on there, but we're still not gonna port our stuff over because that would suck. Much to the investor's chagrin, but he was sticking to his guns. And again, the CEO would see that and be like, oh, dollar signs are in my eyes, I will sign whatever I need to. But I applaud him sticking to his guns and maintaining his integrity. So, I mean, if I'm not fucking careful, Justin, I'll just keep on singing Miyamoto, well, his praises too, but I'll just keep singing Iwata's praises until I'm blue in the face. So we should probably go to a different topic. But yeah, man, I am colossally bummed. It has been way more of an impact to me than I would have ever thought. And like there have been a couple times where I'd be at work and like maybe like I'd be heating up my lunch or something like that, and I'd go on my phone and maybe browse Facebook, and I'd be seeing all this artwork, and it's like, man, I can't be reading this at work because, you know, if I'm sitting at my desk crying like a baby, and it's not Thursday, or it's not my usual Tuesday afternoon cry session, but a different cry session, people are gonna start asking questions. So it's like, you know, I have to, I just can't do it, man. So it's been rough for all of us, but you know, if nothing else, seeing all like the really heartwarming messages people have been writing and nice artwork and videos. It's, you know, man, it's community. That's what video games are all about. So there's a silver lining, and I can appreciate that.
There is. Yep.
But, what's going on?
Saw the gaming community come together.
Yep.
Yeah.
Passed away, so. It's to be embraced. But,
yes.
But R.I.P. Iwata, you will be sorely missed.
Yep. And let me talk about one other person. He's not dead, but Konami believes that he's dead.
Yes, I know.
And that's Mr. Hideo Kojima. They've officially removed him from all titles.
Yeah.
So all future pending titles that even had anything related to Kojima Productions has been removed.
Yep.
A fucking bunch of bastards,
fucking
man.
Konami, man. What a great juxtaposition, you know, talking about a Japanese company that sticks to the guns versus a Japanese company who just fucks everything.
They literally did, and it goes. I mean, it shows you because we talked about it a few episodes ago where they basically had that. Somebody put it onto some type of copy pasta, and it stated, you know, that they were going into the mobile market. They don't see themselves as a console maker anymore, and they are going strictly mobile because that's where the money is. So, God, I fucking hate you, Konami, and all your bullshit. God, I hate it.
What's going on, Eric?
I read that. Oh, what's up, Eric?
Shoutouts to Eric for joining. Thanks for joining, man.
Yep. What's up, man?
We're bitching about Konami. Want to join in?
Yeah.
On the bitch fest?
Fucking assholes. I mean, not only did they fucking get rid of PT, they get rid of fucking Kojima, and then they act like they never got rid of Kojima.
And then they totally just
and then they were just like, hey, by the way, guys, this is the new artwork for the game. And then people were like, wait, this is missing something. I'm actually surprised that they kept the, because there's 3 logos on the front of the case. And there's a Konami one, there was a Kojima Productions one, and then there's the Fox engine. So,
yeah.
Well, they kept the engine one, I guess. They preserve a little bit. Even that is Kojima Productions engine, so.
Oh, really? I did not know that, actually. I wonder if there's gonna. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure Konami's library of lawyers maintains that they won't suffer any repercussions, but it's.
Oh
like,
yeah, no, yeah. The library of lawyers.
I mean, I just assume they have a fleet of lawyers. They just open a garage.
Oh, yeah, sure.
They open like a hangar, and they're just packed in like sardines in suits and briefcases.
I do think though that this is pretty much forcing me not to buy Metal Gear Solid, the newest one, even though I want to play it. I am a firm believer that you fucking give them, you know, pay with your wallet, as I always say.
Yeah. Eric's got the right idea. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Them sons of bitches. But yeah, I know. I just wanted to talk about that for a minute because I fucking hate it, and I love Kojima so much. He is such an awesome writer as far as video games go.
Yeah.
I always loved it.
Talk about visionaries. He's a perfect example.
Yeah, absolutely. He had an idea and he fucking went full force into it, and it worked. It really did work.
What's going on, You Decide? Thanks for joining, man.
What's up, man? You Decide.
Yes.
All right. Let's get into some happier topics.
Yeah, the Kojima one is a bit of a bummer, and
right.
I don't really have much else to add to it. I mean, I know a lot of people, like you mentioned, are all like just like, man, motherfucking Konami, and how they. I have a couple people that do still plan on buying Metal Gear Solid, the new one, eventually. But then after that, it's like, you know, after that, I kind of wanted to just cut ties and speak all of them.
If they even were to release anything Metal Gear Solid after that, it's not a Kojima production. Like, it's not. he's not making that game, and that's what makes those games. You know, like
it's gonna be a tough sell.
You just can't have it. Yeah, from Sons of Liberty to Sons of Bitches.
Good,
fucking perfect.
I mean, how else to how better to put it? But I don't know. Okay, it is a bummer.
Yes.
It's a bummer, but we'll see what happens.
I talked about copy pasta. Let's talk about creepy pasta.
Oh, spoopy. Oh, you got a fan,
Justin?
Let's
talk about. Oh,
Senpai
thank you. I like you too. You decide. I was recently looking into some fucking creepypasta games.
Oh.
And Alex Spear needs a wash. I don't know. Maybe if he cries more at work, he can use it as
stream down and cleanse.
Self-cleaning.
Cleanse the soil, the soiled beard. I'll just pour this on it.
Reading about some creepypasta games, okay, and I just wanted to name off a few of my favorites.
Okay.
And people don't know, there are scary games, creepypastas. So there's scary stories, basically told in a game format.
Yes.
I think my favorite one is probably the Ben Drowned from. Yes.
Shoutouts to D-Man.
Alex, the plastic cup of water. He will not be the glass until we return to my house.
His humble abode.
Then the Alex, the glass of water.
That's where the real Alex resides. I'm just a shell. I'm just a.
So you're familiar with Ben Drowned, right?
I fucking love that creepypasta. Probably my favorite.
Right.
Too spooky.
I think that's my favorite too, the Ben Drowned one, because I wanted it to be real. You know, like, I mean, so bad when you read it.
The whole time you're reading it, you're just like, there's no fucking way, but oh, it's so cool. Ah.
Yep.
The videos.
So if anyone wants any reference, you can look up Ben Drowned on YouTube. There's a bunch of YouTube videos, you know, about Ben Drowned or whatever. You can look up the creepypasta on, I think, the creepypasta website. You can just type in Ben Drowned. I'm sure it'll give it to you, and it'll give you all the videos as well. But basically, it's it's a guy who got a cartridge from a garage sale.
I think so. An old man.
An old man gave it to him.
Yeah, in a garage sale, I think. Yeah.
At a garage sale, he took it home and he started playing, but he noticed it was fucked up, and then there was like already a save slot.
Yes.
That was there.
Just Ben, I think.
It was Ben, yeah. So, and then like as he's playing, there's a bunch of fucked up shit that's happening. Like a bunch of statues were like summoning behind him.
Fucking
and, like,
statues, man.
They were trapping him underwater, and then like he had a game over, and then he went back into like to start a new game, and then it was like Ben Drowned, basically saying that the character itself is Ben, or not the character itself, but there's a character in the game that is stuck in the game named Ben.
Right. Yeah.
So
and it's
so fucking
good.
And
it just unravels from there, and the videos get. Oh, I have goosebumps right now just thinking about those fucking videos, because I mean there's the videos like Justin mentioned, but then there's also text that kind of goes alongside it, where it's like he would make a post, have like a video, and then like text to not just the description, but like a post on his website or something to like elaborate on what you see in the video and the significance of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it gets fucking spoopy. 3 spoopy.
Yeah.
3 spoopy.
Very
5
much
me.
so.
And yeah, that's probably my favorite, and partly because I'm a disgusting Zelda fanboy, which is shocking to nobody. Yeah, man. I remember like that was while I was in college. And I remember like me and a bunch of my buddies, all my computer science buddies, were all talking about it, and like that'd become a thing. Like we would all meet up in the morning before our various classes, and like we'd all check the Jaduzable YouTube channel. It's like, oh, do you make a new post today? It was so exciting while it was happening. So yeah, man, those were fun times.
Yeah, those are the best. Whenever I like even normal creepypastas that are set up in like a forum based.
Yeah,
those are very cool. I like those a lot. Another one that I read recently was that I didn't even think to. I remember hearing something about it. I think it's Super Mario 128.
Oh yeah.
Have you heard about that?
Yeah.
That was actually just really weird. There was no video context or anything. It was just a guy stating that he played this concept version of a new Super Mario game that never made it. It was basically called Super Mario 128. And he was like, yeah, from what I tested, and like there was no enemies or anything in the game. It was just him and some text. but it was like really like dark text from Bowser. So Bowser was basically like, "Hey, if you want to, come to the castle and give me what I want, and then the princess can go," and basically saying that he's going to kill him. So,
Ah.
um, but then it just turns out like that the game like I either bugs or like it turns into some weird thing, and he like falls through the world, and he like lands up in like a city, and then he goes home. And inside of his home, there's like this, like two skeletons like sitting on this couch. He's like, "What the fuck is going on here?" And like Bowser comes to the fucking floor, and then he basically Mario just accepts his fate, and then gets stabbed by Bowser, and then Bowser rips off his head. And I was like, "Man, this sounds
Hooray!
Right." Like, and I guess it's weird because like the way that the when you're reading it, you're just like, "Holy fuck!" Like. You never think of Mario being a person who would die, especially gruesomely. And then, like, he's like, yeah, so Bowser comes to the floor, and he's like, he's not Bowser, but you can tell he's Bowser because he doesn't have the same model, but he's like a green lizard, So I guess it was more, like, I don't know, more natural, I guess. Like it's supposed to be more real, a realistic type Mario game.
Yeah.
So, and like Toad the entire time was like, just go away, nobody wants you.
Good times.
I want this game.
Talk about happy topics. Yeah, and it does kind of bring to mind some of the creepypastas that are, maybe not cheesy isn't the right word for it, but like the ones that are like, because there's a subtlety to it. There's a subtlety to like playing to your imagination and letting your mind fill in the pieces. And then there's some that like just go so over the top. It's like, come the fuck on, guys. You're not even trying by this point. And there's a whole wealth of those.
Yes.
I'm a fan of the Red Super guys, Slow Beef and Diabetes, and there was a phase where they would probably for several weeks they would like one day out of the week they would like find a shitty creepypasta, and like Slow Beef would try his best to like read through it in like an epic voice, and like they would play a game in the background, and just to try and like really ham it up, because I think it was around Halloween, and some of them were just like, I don't know. So, very creative imaginations from some people, I guess. Also.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Binge rounds. There was one. I can't remember what it's called, but it was about like a haunted Pokemon cartridge. You might have heard about that one.
I like that.
And that one was pretty cool. And there's lots of non-video game related ones that get passed around. Some of those can be cool. The Grifter and some of those others, the Russian sleep experiment. Some of them can be kind of neat.
Right.
Some more than others.
I think The Cave. Did you ever read The Cave one? The guy who went like basically, him and his friend went into this cave and they found literally a hole that was only as big as really his body, and he went all the way through it. Yes. And he even supplied pictures, which was even more impressive.
That was impressive. Yeah, I woke up the next morning, and yeah, there was that same size hole in his bedstand. He was like, "What the actual fuck?"
Yes.
Yeah, man, that was pretty good. The pictures really sealed the deal.
Yeah. And then the other one that I'm thinking of is it was just like basically a basic forum post, and a guy was making, and he was like, I recall this children's show from a long time ago, and he's like, but there was just one episode that really catches me off guard, and he's like all these people start commenting and stuff, and like, I think I know what you're talking about, like I asked my parents about it and they don't recall ever seeing it, but basically it was like at one point of time there like all these people were watching this children's show, and all of a sudden all the characters stopped moving on screen and just stared into the camera, and then it literally they just stared for the entire 30-minute duration.
Oh, God.
Like staring into your soul. And then I forget how it ended, but fuck, that was such a good. I'm gonna have to read that.
I gotta look that one up. I've never heard of that one, especially if multiple people were corroborating on it.
Right.
Oh man.
Oh, you decide. No, I don't play RuneScape. I tried RuneScape once, way back in the day, and I chopped wood forever, and then I decided to quit.
I've never touched it, honestly. Never did touch it. I know many a friend that did. In fact, I know a few people that still do actually play. Not many, but there are still some holdouts.
Yeah. Yep. There is a I think we've talked about it before. There is a private RuneScape server going on right now, which takes it back to the original RuneScape. So. and I know
Yes.
people are very into that. So
Oh
like
yeah.
I'm into like the original WoW stuff. So me and a bunch of friends are playing vanilla WoW,
No.
and then I know people are playing the EverQuest server. People play the Star Wars
Yeah.
Galaxies private server. So yeah, I think people just want it before people could get their hands on it to fuck it up. So
I can
eh,
understand that.
I
The
get that.
the pristine 1.0, unsoiled by unworthy hands. That's understandable. Copper armor. Is that in RuneScape?
I
Oh, okay.
imagine so. Yeah, either that or he's telling me that he just made copper armor in WoW, and I don't know fucking why because you play a hunter, Eric. Why are you making copper armor? I'm just kidding. I have to yell at Eric. I haven't been at work, so like I have to yell at him
I understand.
over Skype.
Got to get your fix, cause otherwise,
Sometimes it's just how it goes.
not the same. Not the same.
Um, I think we've talked about it before, but I figure while we're on the creepypasta, what is your favorite scary game?
My favorite spoopy game. I don't want to be super predictable. I'm gonna be super predictable and say Eternal Darkness. How could I say anything else?
Yes. Yeah.
Fucking love that
Oh
game.
yeah. I think we've definitely talked about it before.
Yeah.
So yours Eternal Darkness and mine's definitely Amnesia. So I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
we've been here.
But you know,
We've been-
RE4 is probably a fairly close second, honestly, because
What's
I
that?
love that game. Resident Evil 4.
Oh, Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Okay.
Resident Evil 4. Um, I'm kind of a fair weather Resident Evil fan. I enjoyed the first couple of games. Never beat them, unfortunately, and I want to rectify that at some point. But I haven't played any of the later ones because they really haven't interested me, and I haven't. A lot of people have said some things about them that have described things about them that make them less appealing to me.
Yeah.
But man, Resident Evil 4 to me was the perfect nexus of scary, spooky, and action fun times, and
Right.
fucking love
I've
that
heard
game so
that
much.
Resident Evil 4 was great.
It is.
So I have heard that. I think my favorite Resident Evil is number 1, but I only played the remake. I never actually played the original.
Oh, really? Okay.
I played the remake that was on GameCube, which is the one they actually ported to PC as well.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if anyone wanted to enjoy it, but I think I enjoy that game so much is because it's definitely scary. It's definitely got an awesome story, but the fixed camera angles.
Yes.
That's what really gets you because there could be something around a fucking corner and all you hear is the sounds and you're just
Yep.
like, oh, and then you're trying to get through a door and you can't. And you also your guy starts losing health and you're just
Yep.
like, fuck, here we go.
I mean, a lot
My-
of yeah.
The thing that's burned into my fucking brain right now is me walking into what they called the mirror room, which was like
God.
a room with just like 20 mirrors in it.
Yeah.
And that's when you first meet the Crimson Head zombies, which are fucking just, red flesh rendered fucking zombies who run like just fucking a million mile an hour. So yeah, walking in there and then seeing him look at you and then start running at you, you're just like, oh shit, I gotta
Yeah.
get the fuck out of here. Yeah, that's such a good game. I still need to play Eternal Darkness.
I love that game almost more than life itself. And D-Man knows what's up. Eternal Darkness is where it's at.
Yep.
Also, Eric, BT Dubs, replies back saying, no, RuneScape, you dick. Fatal Frame. Oh, baby.
Oh my
Fatal
God.
fucking Frame. Holy shit.
I forgot about that. I think we actually talked before about a. Weren't they thinking about doing a Fatal Frame for the Wii U?
It's confirmed. It's totally happening. And
Oh,
I-
totally happening!
and
Awesome.
I think, I would have to look it up to be sure, but I think it's confirmed to also be coming out in North America. Not just
Okay,
Japan.
cool.
So,
Very
the hype
cool.
train, choo-choo, motherfucker.
I'll come over and play it with you.
Ah, that would be awesome. So that way, when I scream like a little girl, I have a witness.
Yep, we can hold each other.
Hold each other and tremble. And
Yes.
tremble under, build a fort out of
Yeah.
cushions and such.
Ooh, that
'Cause I'm a-
actually just sounds fun in
'Cause I'm
general.
a man, damn it. I'm an adult, and I will
Yes.
build an adult
Yes.
cushion fortress. But yeah, Fatal Frame. That's
T-Man says that he's had scary moments with non-scary games.
Oh yeah, as as a kid, I can totally understand that. It's games that weren't intended to be scary that ended up freaking your shit out.
Right.
And we get that in itself is probably a topic right there.
Yeah.
Games that
I'm trying to think of one, but I can't think of one.
games that games that, or maybe like games that them by themselves were not horror games, but had that one part that was fucking terrifying, or that one dungeon. I'm gonna go with to me is a super obvious example, which would be the Shadow Temple in Ocarina.
Oh, good call.
Because
Yeah, that was fucking.
that was some shit. Well, and I guess it begins with the bottom of the well, because when you go to Kakariko Village as a child, play the Song of Storms to drain the well, then hop down to to plunder the depths within, and then you eventually fight that fucking like ivory skinned jaw, like unhinging jaw thing with like the little single appendage tentacle. That fucker, god damn, was he terrifying. It's a game for kids. Nintendo only makes games for kids. Yeah, fuck you. They made that, which was nightmare fuel for fucking days.
Oh,
God, that thing was creepy. And then and that was the appetizer, because then as adult Link, you get to the Shadow Temple. And yeah, you see like actual like blood covered walls, and you're like, dude, what the fuck? Rated E? Where did this come from?
Yeah, no shit.
Oh, so yeah, Shadow fucking Temple like just kind of blindsided you, because I mean the game is not exactly all happy go lucky, but it's you know not exactly spooky for the most part. But yeah, God, that fucking Shadow Temple, and that was some shit, man.
D-Man brings up a good thing. The giant eel from Super Mario 64, 100 fucking percent. That was terrifying. Yeah, I agree. Because like you're in the water. First off, no one controls fucking well in the water. Okay, let's just put that out there. No one knows how to fucking control Mario in the water at a perfect rate unless you speed run and you've played fucking 9 million times. But yeah, dude, that eel is the scariest shit ever.
It was creepy. And so oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I mean, like, and there's like a perfectly justifiable fear, because if you so much as touch him, he takes 3 bars off your health like a fucking fucker.
Yep.
So it's like there's like knee-jerk fear, and then there's genuine fear, like, oh god, don't let him near me, because he's dangerous as shit. But he's hoarding all the fucking stars, so he's a jerk. So.
Yep. He's got one on his tail.
Yeah, one on his tail, and he's hiding, and the one's hiding in the ship that he's in which he's residing.
Yes.
But yeah, that's some shit too.
I agree with that. That's. I think one other thing that was creepy about Super Mario is that one level where you, what is it? It's the one where it's 3 levels of water. So like you have to drain and what level was that? It was upstairs, and I cannot think of the name of it. But it had like the water bugs, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm trying to think what the name is.
There was
D-Man might know, but
D-Man, do you know? So
there's
a part in that where you.
World and, what's it called?
Yes. So what the fuck was it?
I don't know. We'll get to it.
What I'm thinking is like you shot in that cannon over to that beyond the fucking grate, and then there was that city, but it was just like empty as shit. It felt eerie. I'm not gonna lie. That was a very creepy, wet, dry world.
Thank you, D-Man.
You knew it.
Never
you
let me down.
One.
But yeah, the derelict ghost town.
Yeah, that was just weird. It was just creepy.
It was, and I guess I never, as a kid, it never occurred to me. It never occurred to me that was creepy. But I remember when because I did a Let's Play that game a couple years back, and I remember like as I was recording it, thinking to myself, this is kind of fucking eerie, because it's so out of place. An entire village within like so far removed from the main level, because you've got the main level, then you just got this tiny little corner that leads to this whole practically different level. Mm-hmm. It's so odd, and when you look at the skybox for that level, itself is comprised of a gigantic city. It almost makes you wonder, where it's like, well, shit, man, like, was it always vacant, or did there people used to be here? Did they all fucking drown because Bowser's a piece of shit? Or did they get turned into these monsters that, your imagination starts to run wild. So, yeah, man, I as a kid, I was ignorant to it, but as an adult, it's like, dude,
now that you think about it, kind of unsettling. It was very empty.
Yeah, man. I have one last example to bring it back to Ocarina. Okay, well, I guess it's one example framed around 2 different instances. Would be the Skulltulas, and I mean the Skulltulas as the enemy because they're skull spiders. Like, they're spiders inside of skull shells. My arachnophobia prevents me from even looking at something like that and not vacating my bowels.
I didn't think that arachnophobia happened not only in real life but also in games, because Eric fucking hates spiders in any game, and it is absolutely hilarious.
I understand your pain, Eric. I understand all too well, my man. But the Skulltulas were creepy, but not just the Skulltulas, the enemy, but the Skulltula house was horrifying in Kakariko Village. The ones where you have to get the gold Skulltulas. Fuck that, man. The first time, like, and you see that they're, like, you know, still half human. You can, like, you know, hit him with your sword to bounce him around, but if you manage to get behind him and like, you know, stab in the back, they unleash this, like, guttural, like, this noise that's like, dude, I'm so sorry. It's, like, pure anguish. Oh, man, fuck that.
So what's the story behind this? Is there any story behind them?
The Gold Skulltulas, I think it's kind of a generic. Ganondorf turned them, like, cursed them. Oh, in fact, yeah, I remember now. They were a wealthy family. And
okay.
I actually don't know if it was Ganondorf himself or if there was some other force, but they were cursed for their greed and for their lust for money. Because they apparently were squandering it and not being good citizens with it, and were punished, and their punishment was being turned into these monsters and being robbed of their wealth, at least to a certain extent. And yeah, man, that's some shit. So again, rated E. Come the fuck on, Nintendo.
Right. Benny Lava brought up a good one: the zombies in the fucking or in the fucking market square, and the way that they sound when they lock eyes with you.
Oh yeah, the Redeads. Or the shriek noise. Yeah. Oh god. Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, the Redeads.
What a creepy game! I never realized it, but fuck, Ocarina of Time is creepy as shit.
Too spoopy. I'm calling it now. That's too spoopy for me. Marking it on the too
except
spoopy
in
column.
Skyrim. So D-Man said that spiders have never been scary except in Skyrim. That's only because after I killed it, it clipped through the floor and fell through the ceiling of the cave and landed right in front of the camera.
Nope.
That is fucking hilarious.
So much nope. I'm not dealing with that. You're on your own. I just leave by that point.
And he says he still hasn't finished Ocarina of Time yet.
It is a fun game. It's one of my favorites.
Is that even possible? Is it possible for people not to have finished that game?
You know, this is gonna shock you, but I know people that have never played Ocarina of Time in their life, and I can only imagine what a hollow existence they must have. But
yep, they're not full. They're not full of life.
It's their choice. Yeah.
How can you just not love Saria so much that when she becomes the temple guardian person?
Spoilers. Just kidding. I'm kidding.
Spoilers. 15 years old.
Spoilers. Aerith dies. Dude, not cool. Not cool, man.
How can you not cry when she is just eternally living without you?
The feels. Oh man, but yeah, man. Those parts in the games that were otherwise, you know, not exactly a horror game, but then it sucker punches you. With something that just hits you right in the childhood.
Those were some good ones.
Factor. Those were some good ones. I'm proud of us for coming up with those on the fly.
I am too. That was impressive.
Haven't played any Zelda, so yeah. So you know we are amongst
fucking Eric.
Some of our friends are even yet to be blessed by that which is the Zelda addiction.
Last thing I remember is Goron Village. Goron Village is so fun. Just rolling around.
It is fun. That is fun.
And then you gotta. I love the quest to get Big Goron sword.
Dude, motherfucking Big Goron sword. Yeah, Giant's knife is for chumps.
For chumps, yeah, fucking break.
Knife.
The best part about it though is like, hey, here you go. Yeah, in one swing it fucking breaks. That is the best.
And you have to spend, I think it's 500 rupees. I think it costs like the absolute maximum number of rupees you can hold. I think.
Yes.
Fuck our breaks, and you have the Giant's knife. You have the I guess it's just called the broken Giant's knife. Like just the little. It does the same amount of damage as the Kokiri sword. I do know that there's a category of speedrun for for completing the game with the broken Giant's knife, which is, I mean, you can leave it up to the internet to come up with something that diabolical.
That is fucking golden. I did see don't worry, I've seen the internet come up with some great stuff. Apparently there's now a new speedrun called, it's like 420 fucking speedrun or something like that, where in Zelda they have to basically get to a point, it's a speedrun to get to a point where you light a fucking Deku stick on fire, and then you glitch it with the ocarina so it looks like you're smoking it.
Okay, I'm okay with this. That's awesome. I've never heard of that. I've never seen that. I'll have to look that up after
So people are just finding speedruns now to find a place to light a Deku stick on fire and then glitch it with the ocarina to make it look like you're smoking it.
Smoke Deku every day.
Smoke Deku every day.
Oh man, that's awesome.
speaking of the fucking goddamn giant's knife, okay? Games love to have these fucking money hole sink gimmicks
Yep.
that I have fallen into so many fucking
The
times.
pot Karina.
I would play that game.
Yeah, I would too.
Play that. Yeah, this hotel room does look like the same as every other hotel room because I don't know. Hotels do have an odd thing where they look. Everyone looks the exact same. They all have these fucking curtains. I don't know where these came from. Yeah, they have the couch back there that my suitcase is sitting on.
Yep.
Yeah,
the shitty desk phone from the 1980s is chilling
absolutely.
out.
It is chilling right here next to me. Hold on, let me get it in frame.
Well, there's one that I can see behind you, but I don't know.
Oh, you can?
I see a phone behind you. There's that phone too, which is also from the 80s.
Hello.
The 1980s called. They want their cell phone. They want their telephones back.
God. But like talking about like money sinks in games, which is fucking hilarious because Final Fantasy does that shit to you all the time. Like, they will purposefully put a fucking item in there and it costs a piss ton.
Yep.
And then it's the absolute most worthless thing, but you just think it's so good because it's expensive.
Yep.
You know. Warcraft fucking made me just absolute retarded. I never forget playing Vanilla WoW. And then back in the day, you know, you couldn't get gold easily, so you just contacted some Chinese farmers and they get it for you, okay, just for some cash. So me and my friends bought some gold, and I will never forget getting my cut. So my friend was the one who made the transaction. He got the gold. He gave partial cut to me, and I then went to this place and bought this fucking white quality shirt, dress thing that was like 20 gold, and it was like the most expensive thing I could fucking find, and I bought it, and then I was like, wow, this is a pile of shit. Why the fuck did I buy this? You know, like, what the fuck was my whole purpose of buying this? And I will never. I agree that I should be made fun of that every day of my life for making that terrible decision of not buying a mount and instead buying a fucking dress thing.
This is how we learn, man. It's part of the experience. Oh man. You know,
I'm trying to think of other ones though. Pretty much any RPG is gonna fuck you over with one of these choices.
I got one.
I know that. Oh, go ahead.
You remember we were talking about Pokemon earlier, and you mentioned Magikarp. Do you know the one I'm getting at?
Is it the one where the guy's selling a fucking Magikarp at the goddamn? Okay, so I think there's two spots. There's one where a guy's just selling a Magikarp, and then there's another one where he's selling it at the games corner. Mm-hmm. So which one are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Actually, I think it was the first the first time you encounter him, because he's selling it for like 2,000 money value, whatever the currency is in Pokemon games. And yeah, exact same thing. I'm a fucking noob to this game. I don't know what a Magikarp is. It's it's got magic in the title, and it carp like a magic carpet. Fuck yeah, I want to fly around. Like, I don't know what the fuck it is. I'm a kid. I'm dumb as shit. So of course I buy it like a chump. See, it's this shitty Pokemon that at the time I took for being worthless, not knowing anything about Gyarados. But yeah, perfect example of you being just being a naive, I don't know what that is. Sure, if it's expensive, it's got to be good. So why not? This is how we learn.
Speaking of Pokemon, fucking the bicycle. I know.
Fucking the bicycle. I'm a fan of that too. After hours.
Yes, fuck you.
It's after hour stream. That's for later.
I know a couple friends of mine actually bought the bike outright. They saved up and bought a fucking bicycle.
Wow. How much does it cost?
A metric fuck ton.
I just assumed there wasn't enough because there's only so much money in the game. Well, I guess you could just beat the Elite Four so many times.
You can do the Elite Four over and over.
Is that what they did?
Yes.
God.
They never knew you could get a bike voucher.
I don't know what to do anymore, Justin. I just want to crawl into my desk and cry. I don't like.
And these are friends that didn't know about it until way later because they played the game alone, so they didn't have friends who played the game with them. So they truly didn't know. And this is before the age of the internet.
Was it a million? Was it a million?
Hold on, I now have to search for it.
Yeah, look this shit up because the world needs to know. And by the world, I mean the 3 viewers we have. Oh no, 4 viewers. 4 viewers we have.
It is 9. Okay, never mind. It's actually impossible to buy the bike. You are correct. So yeah, they lied to me. Fucking bastards. So
I'm just
yeah,
like,
no,
there's
it
no
is
way.
impossible because the bike shop in Cerulean City, which sells bikes produced by the company, it can be bought for $1 million or exchanged with a bike voucher. However, there is only 999,000 you can hold at one time. So it's actually
Classic.
physically impossible to buy the bike.
So you're like,
So
you've got
I was
you.
fucking lied to, Alex.
See, you like
Oh,
I can just imagine Red or Ash or whatever you want to name him, like carrying this fat stack, and he's like reaching down to pick up the last one. It's like, and he like picks it up, and his neck breaks, or like under the weight, or like just collapses. I can't pick it up. It's too heavy. My wallet's only so fat.
yes.
Oh, I'm sorry that you were lied to, Justin, but I'm grateful to hear that no mortal soul has farmed, because yeah, that's just depressing to imagine. There are far better things to spend their time, says the man who has put in a total of like 170 hours into Terraria. I had to look. I probably, and that's across multiple years, mind you, but it was still like, still kind of depressing.
Yes.
Oh man! Out of curiosity, Justin, what do you think is the game that you've played the most? And that may or may not include Steam Library, because I know that games from
That I played
yesteryear,
the most.
yeah, like just number of hours spent, and it don't limit, and not just limited to Steam, because like I said, not all old games have a counter.
It'll probably be Final Fantasy VII. That's probably my number one, and then I probably right behind it is the first Kingdom Hearts game.
Think so?
Yeah, I think so.
Number of hours.
I mean, obviously, number of hours, please. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting
talking. Okay,
yeah,
number of hours, definitely. Yeah. WoW. That has consumed well
so?
over 2 years. Well, I mean, back in the day, my Paladin, before I sold my first one, so I did sell a character. So I sold my Paladin.
Oh, really?
He had like 110 days played.
That's impressive.
Right.
That's
now,
impressive.
You give or take that amount, because a lot of the times, he's AFK sitting in. You know, it's hard to judge with Warcraft, because obviously I did play that at Piston. I'm going to go ahead and say that, yeah, that's probably my most played game, but there's a lot of times where my character was AFK.
Yeah.
Kind of sitting in the open. But I would say 80% of that time is correct. So I would say a lot of the times I did log out and stuff. But yeah, so I was probably sitting around right then and there, 80 hours. But my second character, my second Paladin, he's sitting at like 70 days. So
it's still pretty respectable.
Yeah, so
pretty good.
Just add those together, and that's just one character. You gotta just even fucking count all the other characters.
That's still good.
That I've leveled up. So yeah, I would say WoW, probably then Final Fantasy VII, and then Kingdom Hearts. I would say, and then probably Team Fortress.
Yeah.
That's definitely up there. I know that for a fact. I played a metric piss ton of that game.
Oh yeah, I completely understand.
And then I was super impressed whenever Amanda came to that LAN.
Oh.
And she fucking beat all our asses in that game.
Yeah, that was a rude awakening. And
she was surprisingly very good.
Yeah, and that's the risky run where, like, you introduce a new person to a group of friends, is that like they might secretly have been playing that game for like, and I actually ended up checking later on. I was like, oh, she's put in like 400 hours in this game. I don't feel as bad now, but still feel a little, not so much emasculated, but just like I was not expecting that, because I just don't expect that kind of thing. But yeah, that's I've had that same experience with a number of different people as well. So I learned the hard way not to make judgments on someone.
Yeah.
In any regard. But
what would you say that your highest is?
Did you watch the Game Grumps WoW episodes thing? I know I have not.
I have not. I have not watched those. And Eric, yeah, they are going to release more footage. I did hear about that at D23. So that's going to be fucking awesome. And I'm almost positive that they're going to have a Star Wars world, because it's Disney.
So good.
And I'm 100% positive there's going to be a new Star Wars world in Kingdom Hearts. What do you know? We probably will fucking get a lightsaber that looks like a Keyblade, or a Keyblade that looks like a lightsaber. So.
Keysaber, like
the Keysaber.
Yeah, that does sound badass. And yeah, I mean, they have the power. They have the power to make this happen.
Yeah.
I'm all but positive that they're going to make it happen and blow the collective minds of every fucking person on the planet. It's going to be awesome. But yeah, as for me, like, the game that I've put the most hours in, on Steam, it's Payday 2. I think I've put in just a little bit under 300 hours in Payday 2.
Yeah.
So
I know that you've played that quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
I think the difference between me and you is that your game diversity is much larger than mine as far as, like, the way you've spread out, like, your time over games. Because mine is, like, when I go into my Steam library and I look at the games that I played, like, Team Fortress, it's like this giant fucking bar, right?
As it should be.
And then the ones under it are, like, half, and then it goes, like, half of the second one. So, yeah. No, I've seen you play Payday quite a bit.
It's the one we all come back to. Gotta do them smash and grab.
Pat put it perfectly right there. Super Hobbit has started playing Payday 2.
What a shock, right? Who knew? and like, there was a period in time where, like, every time it would go on sale, I would post on our respective LAN party thing, like, hey guys, look what's 80% off if you want to play this at LAN party. You would,
and I never picked it up for some fucking reason.
I could never break through. I could never penetrate. If am I doing it right? I can never penetrate their defenses. So,
yes.
One of these days, Alice. Pow, right the kisser. But domestic abuse.
Pow, right the kisser.
But yeah, Payday 2 is the most on Steam. Overall, I would probably say Diablo 2.
Good call.
2.
Yeah.
And it's impossible to know because, this predates the days of logging your time spent, at least automatically.
Yeah.
Probably Diablo 2. The only thing that I could foresee coming even close would be original Super Smash Brothers. Also, a partial product of Satoru Iwata. He was one of the developers for that game as well. So.
Oh really?
Boom! It comes full circle. Boom.
It does. And we're done. Okay, stream's over. Thank you.
Record time. Good speed run, Justin. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I would say original Smash Bros. And Diablo 2. It's somewhere between the two. It's impossible to know which one, but I would probably wager Diablo 2 if I had to pick one.
Okay.
I'm not ashamed. Maybe a little.
I played a lot of Diablo 2. I know I didn't play nearly enough as like all my friends. I came in very late to Diablo 2.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah.
Yeah, Rocket League. I did want to say that. Yeah, Rocket League is fucking awesome. It's probably one of the better games I've played recently.
Nice.
As being just pure enjoyment. It's $20 on Steam, so I think I'm definitely gonna buy it. So if anyone wants to buy it for the LAN, I'm definitely up for fucking playing Rocket League.
I might have to do that as well.
Super fun. You don't even have to be a fucking fan of soccer to enjoy this game. It is literally very, very fun.
Nice. Yeah, that does sound. It looks awesome. I remember you were talking it up last week, and ever since, and I was surprised I hadn't really heard much about it before then. But then after, I remember I drove home that day, got to my apartment, fired up my computer, and like just news story, boom, 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 Rocket League, Rocket League, Rocket League. I was like, Jesus Christ, you can't swing a dead gamer without hitting a Rocket League advertisement. So yeah, man, just kind of.
They have also been accepted into MLG, so they are officially an esport now.
Beep, 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 beep. Doritos and Mountain Dew spinning.
Maybe it's not MLG. It's probably just an esport, but yeah.
No, I think that is great. Smoke weed every day. Mom, get the camera. No, I think that's great. I think it's cool that it's and it's only been out for, I guess, 1 week. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's very impressive. It's I don't know. I was pretty hyped about it because I saw a bunch of videos and I was like, this looks like fun. And people who have played the beta were like, yeah, this is really a really enjoyable game. I recommend everybody playing it. And it wasn't until I actually played it for myself that I was like, this is actually in pure enjoyment. Nice. Like, this is a very fun game. And I'm not a type of person to play like any type of sports game or anything like that. Very, very fun. It really never gets old. It's extremely fun all the time. So
that's awesome.
And I've never tried Football. No. Sorry.
Oh, I've heard about it. Yeah. Would there be a Dota 2 equivalent? I wonder.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
Probably,
I'm sure. With because Dota 2, whenever the Source 2 engine comes out, where people can make their own custom games and shit.
That's gonna be cool.
I am 100% positive that's gonna be like the number one. So.
Oh man, that's gonna be cool. Yeah. Did they announce a time frame for when that's going to be crapping on?
I would say the International.
Think so?
During yeah, absolutely. I think they're going to unveil it at the Dota 2 International.
Will that be this year or would that not be until next year?
No, I think it's going to be this year. It's very soon.
Is it really?
Yeah, I'm because they've already been unveiling information about the Source 2 engine
Yeah.
for Dota 2. So, and they've already stated that whenever they launch it, it's going to have the custom games, and there's already people who have game types
Oh,
made for it.
wow.
So, I am almost 100% positive it's either going to be right before or during or after, like right. It's going to be very near to the international that they're going to release the Source 2. They've actually started talking about probably playing the Source 2 engine during the international.
Wow. That's awesome.
So, yeah.
Ambitious, but we'll see what happens. That sounds awesome.
Right,
though.
we'll see what happens. I'm sure it won't be an official match. I'm sure they'll probably do like a special I'm sure they'll probably play Source 2 when they want to play like a custom game that they've made specific for like a bullshit round like they do. So, like typically they do an all-star match every year where they just get the best people from each of the teams to play a game against each other. So, and they typically play some fucked up game type where like a mod will put like random shit in, and like they'll have to face like 10 of the super elite monsters and stuff. So, I think it's like they'll put random wells around, so like they'll start firing off at you and stuff. With the custom games, I feel like that's going to be a lot easier for them. So I bet during that section they'll probably unveil it. So.
Yeah, that does sound fun. Oh man.
We can only hope after it launches for Dota 2 that Source 2 will then be launched into the public. And
that'd be nice.
Its games.
I figure it's only a matter of time, and hopefully once it gets to that point. I mean, I don't know if unless Valve has other plans in mind. I mean, I see no reason to not just unleash it the same way they did with Source OG.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, man, that does sound exciting. Do you know when the nationals will be?
The international is actually when I'm taking my vacation, so I know that it is the August 6th and that weekend.
Shit.
So it's like the 8th, I think.
God, that's really coming up then. God.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
So because I was gonna have a party for the international. I was just gonna have some friends over and we were just gonna watch it on my TV in the living room, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh wait, never mind. I'm going to California. So.
Probably a better choice, but still sounds awesome. Yeah. No, I mean that does sound pretty cool. But
so.
Well, that'll be good. That'll be good. We'll see.
So, what time are we running at, Sir Alex?
Well, I see it is 7:30, and we've been streaming for Just gonna leak into the frame a lot. An hour and 20 minutes. So I think we've slightly exceeded our 1 hour.
That's okay. We were having a jolly old time today.
It was. It started off on a depressing note with Iwata, and went into happier times with games that we've poured hours of our lives into. Hours that we'll never get back, but totally worth it.
No.
Oh man, that's good. Good times all around. But yeah, let's go ahead and call it. Thanks to everybody in the chat for chilling with us.
Absolutely, and making us do that topic on the spot earlier that we succeeded at. So that was good.
I enjoyed those.
I don't know. Today was a good cast. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I did too.
I like just randomly talking about random shit anyway. So it's pretty much how I like to go. So, anyways, thanks for everyone chatting along. D-Man, Pat, Eric. So
all good times. Excellent.
So,
all right, same bat time, same bat channel for next week.
Indeed.
Next week we'll be at my place, and
we will be.
I'll do my best not to murder Justin before then. So all part of my diabolical plan, but it's nothing. It's not a surprise to him. It's something he knows already. So.
Yep.
All right.
And Pat, see your ass in WoW, you fucking asshole.
Just the ass. Just the ass. Nothing else.
I will see only your ass.
So that's the only part I need. The rest is just extra.
And thanks, moderator Eric.
For
you
keeping
do great
us
work
moderated.
Too.
All things
Hello, Fi Login.
F you Login. I like it. We're actually just wrapping up. I'm sorry, man. We're just closing up shop.
Yeah, we are wrapping up. So.
But we do this weekly. We have every week, every Tuesday, around 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So come back next week, man. Sorry, we'll chill next week.
We'll chill. We have more topics, hopefully, and hopefully some more good chats.
Good stuff. All right. Good night, everybody.
All right. See you guys.